Aleichem, hope everyone had a wonderful, wonderful week. This week we read my Bar Mitzvah Parsha, Parshas Chukat, and the Torah, of course, tells us about the paraduma, Zos Chukas HaTorah, the paradigm, the chok par excellence, and we read about Tumas Meis. But in the course of the opening Aliyah, where we read all about the Tumas Meis and how we cure Tumas Meis, the Torah also tells us a little bit about other tumos, about different kalim. And the Gemara the Torah distinguishes between a kli cheres on the one hand and a kli mateches on the other. When it comes to a kli mateches, the way kli mateches is tamei, becomes tamei, is if there's physical contact with the kli itself. That's not true when it comes to a kli cheres. When it comes to a kli cheres, you have a kli, you don't even have to touch the kli. If you touch the outside of the kli, that's not going to engender tumah. If tumah goes inside the cavity of the kli, if you have a dead sheretz that goes inside the cavity of the kli, even if it doesn't come into physical contact with the kli, but it permeates the inner vessel of the kli, that airspace, that generates tumah. That's very interesting. And the simple reason for that, the idea behind that is because when it comes to a kli mateches, classically you're talking about a silver item, a gold item, something that has real value. Even a copper item has value. It's strong, it's inherent, it's koach, its value, its worth is in its physicality, is in its structure, is in the gold, is in the silver, is in the copper. So now if that physicality, that structure becomes contaminated, comes into contact with that which is tamei, so that's it, it's tamei, it has to go through a process of tahara, and we put it in a mikvah. It's not true when it comes to a kli cheres. When it comes to a kli cheres, an earthenware vessel, it's earth, it's dirt, it's clay, it's no value. It has very, very minimal value. Its value is its functionality. That's its value. And therefore, where is its functionality? Its functionality is not in the walls of the kli. Its functionality is in the toch of the kli. Its functionality is on the inside of the kli. That's where the functionality of the kli, that's where the worth of the kli is, on its inside. And therefore, you don't have to touch the walls of the kli. If you go ahead and take that sheretz, that tumah permeates the inner sanctum of the kli, even if it doesn't physically touch it, yeah, that's the kli itself. That's its worth. That's inherent worth. In fact, mikveh won't help a kli cheres because it's not about its physicality, it's about its inside, it's about its toch, and therefore a kli cheres actually has to be destroyed and rebuilt in order to become tahor once again. So the Kotzker Rav explains that he feels that a kli cheres is really a model for a Jew. Is that we live in a world that's full of chitzonius, that's full of, yes, celebrating the gold, the silver, the copper, the fancy stuff. But that's not what we're all about. We're all about the inner essence, our inner essence. That's what a kli cheres represents. It's not a fancy item. It's a simple item, but it's very useful. It has tremendous functionality. It's perhaps much more useful than the fancy razzle-dazzle gold and silver items. What its uses and its commonness is because, yes, we can use it day by day, day in, day out. It's the inside. It's the pneumius. It's the inside. And that's perhaps a real core lesson, is that a Jew is about his inside, not about the chitzonius, not about the externalities, but about that which is inherent. That's what the lesson of the Tumas Kli Cheres teaches us, in contrast to the Tumas Klei Kesef, Klei Mateches, Klei Zahav. We should always be focusing on the inside, on the pneumius, on that which we're really all about, our inherent utility and functionality, which is on what we produce, what we do, not the physical side of things. Have a wonderful Shabbos Kodesh.